paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
This podcast is brought to you by mtgband.com. I am Werner Herzog, and your host of this podcast today. These two wretched beasts with me are Douglas Parkour Johnson and Corbin Femboy Hustler. The two of them have spent years toiling in the mines of the cards of bulk rares and picks of the week. I often wonder if their struggle, their Sisyphean effort of rolling the boulder up the hill will ever backfire as the boulder rolls over Corbin and flattens him like a cartoon character. Corbin is easily the schmuck of the show.
As long as I get a sticker on the boulder every time I bring it to the top, I'm golden. Like, as long as
There are
there
no
is
stickers. There is only suffering and pain.
I didn't know who this guy was when you said his name.
Classic.
But the longer you did it, I understood. I recognize it.
It's not a bad impression.
No, it was good.
He's my favorite director.
I'm trying to think of what I've seen him in that, that was
The
obviously
Mandalorian.
very... Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
That's where everyone's seen him.
It's very appropriate for you to do the nihilist guy the day before World War III starts, right? Like, that's...
Listen.
5 hours from now, buddy.
He loves the human spirit. He's not a nihilist. He's deeply realistic.
Just like our podcast.
Yeah, Werner Herzog's exactly the kind of guy who would listen to Brainstorm Brewery if he knew it existed.
Somebody out there.
Can we tag it?
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, tag him on Twitter or...
Because he's on Twitter for sure.
Tell Werner that his biggest fan has a podcast.
He's 83. So maybe he'll listen.
Yeah. He's still active.
right.
He's making a movie right now.
Good for him.
I wonder who our oldest listener is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, if you're our oldest listener, tell us your social security number. How many digits is it? Is it 3 digits?
It's 3 digits. Oh, I thought you were going on a tell us your social security number so we can use it shortly. But
Yeah,
that's good too.
if you're our oldest listener, please give us a social security number. We have a Nigerian prince who wants to pay you.
Oh,
We're doing
man.
this cool trend where everyone comments their mother's maiden name in the comment section to see if it...
To throw off the bots. Only real ones will do this.
Only real ones.
Oh, that's a good point. I also have a philosophical question for you all when we're starting, although it's a little different than the World War III philosophy sort of vibe. If you have 12 people for a Magic the Gathering booster draft, do you A, split into 2 pods of 6, B, draft with 12 people?
You do a pod of 8 and 4 players play commander.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
I'd say it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
I personally think that
joke
I would just
killed
randomly
at FNM
select
last night.
8 people to draft, and the other 4 we start hunting for sport.
We ran a 12-person draft pod. It was very fun.
That sounds delightful to do once.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. That's why I figured I'd ask. 6 isn't awesome either. 6 is fine. But like 12, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's Final Fantasy. Take the training wheels off. Do whatever you want.
3 pods of the pick 2 4-player draft.
Oh,
format.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you're talking. I 3-0'd with a little Bant Towns deck. It was fun.
12-player rotisserie draft.
Oh.
You'll finish drafting by 2 a.m.
Gosh. Yeah, we have enough time, a hard enough time getting the drafts done in 3.5 to 4 hours.
Right.
When we're trying to get the store closed. Imagine trying to run anything like that.
Roto draft is really cool in theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great spreadsheet game. It's not a good Magic card game.
The way we do it, actually, I have a buddy who we do it with his cube sometimes, and we will before a gathering, before a draft weekend or something, we'll just do it on a Google spreadsheet over the course of a week or two with everybody doing it that way, right? Like it works pretty well. That's the way to do it. You should never do it in person.
It's like a Facebook poke game where you just want to have a notification to come to. Like it's not about the. Yeah. It's just about seeing a little one bubble when you wake up in the morning. It's like, oh, the 2 a.m. guy replied. Nice. Now I get to like pick my draft and wait for something.
Have you all seen that graph going around of the largest reach accounts on Twitter?
Yes.
And how they're all not just politically leaning a certain way, which we would all expect, but also, for lack of a better term, they're all slop. Like there's absolutely no quality associated with any of it. It's all just attention slop. And I just think that the Facebook poke notification is responsible for Laura Loomer. And that bothers me. That's all.
What?
Okay.
Think about it. The Facebook poke notification was the pioneering research that showed them that all people care about is the dopamine hit of a notification. It doesn't matter what that dopamine hit is.
Extractive marketing stuff, yeah.
Sure.
Move that on 20 years, and you have the attention economy where it doesn't matter if what you're putting out is slop. It holds attention, or at least, gathers rage attention, whatever. It all traces back to that research they were doing with the poke button when everyone thought they were cute poking their friends in high school.
One of my favorite things about the film The Social Network is how much work Jesse Eisenberg did to try and bring the character of Mark Zuckerberg to life. And it sucks that he didn't do a good enough job of being a soulless ghoul. Like, he tried really hard. Like, he was a great actor. It was a wonderful performance, but it barely touched the surface, really. Have you watched that movie recently, either of you?
I actually saw... It actually did the, YouTube puts all the good scenes up on... recommendation for me recently. So I actually did watch several of the boardroom scenes and the scene where he fucks my man Andrew Garfield. Like, it's fucked up. The movie's
good.
Yeah, it is really good.
They did make Mark Zuckerberg too likable, though.
Yeah, at the time I remember thinking it was more. I didn't really have any didn't know anything about Mark Zuckerberg per se, right? And I viewed it as more as a vehicle for what's Jesse Eisenberg? Is that his name?
I believe that's the actor's name, yeah.
Yeah. I viewed it as more he's just playing his same character and everything. But now obviously he was born. It was just that he was born to play Mark Zuckerberg. Except that he is, in fact, as you mentioned, a little too likable / funny, right? There's just a little too much you're in on the joke kind of vibe at various points with him, which is part of his appeal. But you're right. It kind of falls a little flat in that movie. Where he's the bad guy.
The movie's pretty good.
He's the protagonist, but he's the bad guy, and that makes it difficult for film, right?
Also, Justin Timberlake could have had such a great acting career if he never tried to go serious.
In Time is one of my favorite movies.
I bet we have some In Time enjoyers in this chat for sure.
In Time sucks in a good way.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it includes one of my favorite lines in all of cinema, where it's they're sitting down at the poker table, and the rich snobby kid goes, "I see you also come from time." It's so dumb.
It's so on the nose.
That metaphor was heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Yes, I see you also come from time, parentheses, the currency in which our system is founded, parentheses, the collar of her church or whatever.
I don't know what happened to Justin Timberlake after that stuff. Did he just decide he was done?
They ruined his world tour, man.
Oh, you're right. That is what... I don't know.
He got
he went back to music. He went back... That's what she's talking about. He went back to music, and then the world tour got ruined, and I guess so did the acting career.
Yeah, he just kept trying to do serious roles when he's he was good in The Social Network. It's just
he wasn't even bad at serious roles, but he he
only took bad scripts.
He wasn't going to be George Clooney, but again, the movies are watchable, right? He had a career. I'm sure people would have kept going to see Justin Timberlake movies if he kept making them. For instance, he could have been Jace.
Yeah. My hottest Clooney take, by the way, is that he's not he's a good actor. He's not an all-time great or anything. He's just got a lot of charisma, and that's enough.
I haven't seen George. Is George Clooney even alive? I haven't seen him.
Yes.
Did he retire from doing movies?
I think mostly. I think now
Okay.
he just kind of... I don't remember her name, but his wife is like a really important politician. He just kind
Alma,
of follows
I believe
her around.
is her name. Yeah, actually, I
Yeah.
know that somehow.
I think he just kind of follows her around and like is arm candy at political functions now, which honestly...
Amal Clooney.
Dream job.
Yeah, good for them.
If you haven't watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou recently, you should fix that. That movie bangs.
Yeah, that's true. All right, now we got to talk about Magic. It's true. So, look, it's kind of an eclectic episode because we're getting ready to go to Strixhaven, but we're not in Strixhaven yet. We've all been playing some different forms of Magic. I will tell you that I've been deep in the streets of Brawl on MTG Arena, playing ranked Brawl with the most toxic deck imaginable, Uro, which we then led us to a conversation, if you listen to some of the after hours, about the fact that some people have been discussing the modern ban list recently and the fact that Uro might be one of those that has been suggested to get taken off, along with a number of other cards that have likely been power crept out of the format. What do we think about not just Uro, but just sort of the modern ban list in general at a moment in time where Modern looks kind of stable and healthy-ish in 2026?
Modern is really, really balanced right now, I think. The problem is none of the decks are cool or fun.
They
Amulet
were...
Titan's not cool unless you're a pervert. Boros Energy's not cool unless you only care about match points. The Jeskai Blink deck is only cool if you want to put $2,000 in cards in the battlefield, die with 15 cards in your hand.
Yes. What about Charbelcher?
Sure. The deck has a little bit of charm. It's also not that interesting. It's just like the flip lands, counter spells, Goblin Charbelcher.
Yes, I agree with everything you're saying.
The coolest modern deck right now is Affinity, and that's like kind of a condemnation of the format, I think.
Yeah, or like these newish Living End builds that have been maybe floating around. But you're right about all of that. The format
Living
is...
End can never be fun.
Umezawa's Jitte already?
No.
Why not?
Please
So-
no.
Let me ask you a question, DJ. What happens if you unban it and it's bad?
Nothing.
People bought $50 GTAs and they are upset they bought $50 GTAs. What happens if you unban it and it's good? It's a disaster. There's just
Is
like
it?
so little upside done.
That's what
Is
people
it-
would
Yeah,
have said. It's not
If
Mox
Umezawa's
Opal.
GT is...
There's no
Right.
love for Jitte the way there would have there
Right.
was for Mox Opal. Because it's never
Mox
been
Opal
fun.
lets you build archetypes that can last years, right? Like, if I buy a playset of Mox Opals, I can be like, yes, I'm going to be a Mox Opal guy for a long time. They unban GT, it spikes to $50 to $100 or whatever. People buy their copies of it. It sucks. They're upset. It's good. They're like, wow, all my creature decks are unplayable now.
I think there is joy in equipping creatures with things at sorcery speed and getting in the combat step.
I think it's really charming if you do it once or twice. I really can't stress enough how much, if GT is good, it just kills creature decks in the format. Like,
Yeah, Jitte is so toxic. I've been playing it
just
in Cube.
really-
People in Cube on Arena, people who play on Arena are not Magic boomers as much, so they don't understand the power of a Jitte, and these people pass it so late in Cube drafts, and then it always just wins the game, because no one's ever beat a Umezawa's Jitte.
the card just like, if it is good, it's a problem. If it's bad, it's like, why do we even bother?
Isn't that true with like Jace too?
That
Like,
is
Jace the
true
Mind
with a
Sculptor?
lot of that is true with
Like
a
that's
lot of
true
cards.
with a lot of cards they've unbanned that have been bad.
The
It's been
difference
like,
is that Jitte started
is-
banned, right?
So did
Am I
Jace.
wrong?
No, that's not the
Yeah.
point, Corbin. The point is,
Well.
if GT is good, it totally precludes an entire sphere of Magic. If
Oh,
Jace is
100%.
good in Modern, it's just the strongest control tool. It doesn't define matchups in the same way that GT does. The problem with GT is it's very polarizing about the kinds of games it creates. If games are about combat at all, it invalidates that. Whoever draws their GT wins. Whoever draws their Stoneforge first wins. If games aren't about combat, the card's just kind of unplayable. Whereas Jace, if it's bad, it's a cool tool Control can use if they want to play something nostalgic. And if it's good, it's just the best tool Control has, and you can build the format around that. It's just so hard to build the format around something that invalidates things as opposed to something that lifts them up. Does that make sense?
I think it's a great explanation.
Sure. Yeah.
And like all I'm saying is I don't feel like there's any love for Jitte the way there was, because Jitte started Modern on the ban list, right? So like no
Yes.
one ever
The
played
card
with
has
it.
never been legal.
No one's ever played with it in like most people don't even know it exists except they saw the Ninja Turtles version, which is cool. But like whereas
That's
Jace,
crazy.
it's like people played with it and then they had it taken away from them as opposed to just never having it to begin with.
I believe Jace started on the Modern ban list.
I agree. Jason, Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah, Jace, Bloodbraid, Stoneforge, Valakut, like all the really strong extended cards and standard cards from that era started on the ban list.
Yeah.
Bitter Blossom. I think about all those cards except for like I think GTA is kind of in those class of cards except for it just creates bad games. All the other things are just kind of cool and strong, but not busted.
I'm looking at the modern ban list now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jace. I had that somewhat wrong. Jace was on the initial one along with those other things.
DJ, I think Deathrite Shaman is like bottom 5 cards I would unban in Legacy.
Legacy's different, though.
Not in the ways that matter. I think Deathrite Shaman is stronger relative to Modern than it is in Legacy. Like...
Bloodbraid did not start on the ban list.
I understand it's a
Jace
powerful
did.
card. I understand
Just
it's a
for-
1 mana win condition, 1 mana planeswalker, whatever, but like we have 1 mana win conditions in planeswalkers now.
Bloodbraid... Deathrite Shaman, I think, is stronger than Tamiyo by a lot. And I think Tamiyo is already bordering on too strong. I think Deathrite Shaman changes the terms of engagement of the format. It no longer becomes about playing a 1-drop and a 2-drop. It becomes about playing a 1-drop and a 3-drop. It becomes about how can I 1-4 my opponent as many times as possible and extend the game by 4 extra turns because I have this card that does that. At least Tamiyo incentivizes you to go fast.
Is there an argument that slowing down the format's better?
You could make that argument, but it's weird where like Deathrite Shaman incentivizes you to play long, grindy games where all you do is exchange resources. However, it
A lot
also
of Jund
creates more
lovers
games
out there.
I agree, but it doesn't create Jund decks. It creates like blue-black mid-range deck that interacts with all of your spells one at a time, or it enables like Grixis mid-range. It just like enables mid-range slop in a way that I think you don't want to incentivize because it lets you play. I'm talking myself in circles here. Deathrite Shaman's fucked up, DJ.
The original problem with Deathrite Shaman is that it was just, as people said, a 1-mana planeswalker, right? It naturally just pushes graveyard decks passively out of the format to an extent. It is a great ramp spell. It just sort of puts a lot of pressure on a lot of things. Yeah.
Right, it's more than a planeswalker for 1 mana. It's a planeswalker that lets you play a 3-drop on turn 2.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like Mana Dork Planeswalker, like if there was a 1 mana Planeswalker that said like, came into play with 4 loyalty and only ability to have was -1, create a mana, that card wouldn't be that good. It'd be probably pretty good, but it wouldn't be like amazing. If you printed a Planeswalker that had an activated ability for 1 black mana, exile card from a graveyard, dome your opponent for 2, or green, gain 2 life, and also tap for a mana, like that card, that Planeswalker is too strong. The only thing Deathrite has going against it is that it's a creature you can kill, but it's also just a 1/2 randomly. Like, would the energy decks start playing black for like Deathrite Shaman and Orcish Bowmaster? Probably.
Yes, they would, because that was already that was already a thing. Was playing black for Bowmasters, and they 100% would.
What do you think is the weakest card on the modern ban list that could come off?
Okay, this is a good question. I'll run through it briefly here for everyone at home.
So, is the question... Sorry, real quick. Is the question card you think can come off, or you think that would be good to come off?
Both, I guess. Like,
I think those
we
are
can
different
answer those
questions.
separately.
Let me run through it real quick for people. Ampharaptor, Ancient Den, Astrolabe, Birthing Pod, Blazing Shoal, Bridge from Below.
Corbin, can you ASMR that progressively more as we go down the list?
Chromox, Dark Depths, Death
Cloud Post, Dig Through Time, Dread Return, Eye of Ugin, Field of the Dead, Fury, Gitaxian Probe, Glimpse of Nature, Golgari Grave Troll, Great Furnace, Grief, Hogak, Arisen Necropolis, Hypergenesis, Gigantha the Wellspring, Krark Clan, Ironworks, Luris of the Dream Den, Mental Misstep, Mycosynth Lattice, Mystic Sanctuary, Nadu Winged Wisdom, Oko Thief of Crowns, Once Upon a Time, Ponder, Punishing Fire, Rite of Flame, Seed of the Synod, Second Sunrise, Seething Song, Sensei's Divining Top, Simeon, Spirit Guide, Skull Clamp, Summer Bloom, The One Ring, Tybalt's Trickery, Treasure Cruise, Tree of Tales, Umezawa's Jitte, Underworld Breach, Up the Beanstalk, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, Vault of Whispers, Violent Outbursts, and Yorion, Sky Nomad.
For all the listeners out there, Corbin intentionally skipped one of those. If you can tell us in the comments which one he did, let us know.
I don't think he did.
Corbin, shut up. I'm trying to get them to
Engage. What do you think? What do you think? What can come off, or what would happen if you were to take some of these cards off?
So I actually think the modern ban list is pretty well managed right now, where it's mostly cards that exist in one of three categories. Things that create tournament logistics problems, things that are against the philosophy of the format, or things that are just outright too strong. Things that are too strong are not in conversation. Things that create tournament logistics problems are kind of not in conversation because, like, Second Sunrise and Yorion should stay banned for those reasons. The conversation that we're having here is, are things that are bad incentives for the format, things that are anti the philosophy of the format, are those things worth coming off?
What is the philosophy of Modern now? Because when it came out, like 15 years ago or whatever, it was like, this is a turn 4 format, air quotes. I believe it eventually became a turn 3 format.
So,
yeah.
The card Violent Outburst is one I would put, again, in the anti-philosophy of the format. I think it's probably fine. It makes the Cascade decks meaningfully stronger, but what it does is it creates decks that can play too many free cards. It creates these games where, like, it's all about building your deck in such a way where you can interact with your opponent 3 times before turn 3, and then enact the same game plan every time. Like, Violent Outburst is borderline, barely too strong, is borderline, barely too bad incentives for the format. Like, people who are playing 4 Force Negation and 4 Force of Vigor and 4 Endurance, it's just like kind of incentivizes you to play things that are already broken. It just makes problems down the line. So that card, I think, is in that category. Honestly, Punishing Fire is a card that exists kind of like Umezawa's GTA in my mind, where I don't think Punishing Fire is too strong for the format. But if you unban it,
and
Grove of the Burmillow spikes up in price, everyone buys them, and like the card's not that good, and there's kind of like, damn, I spent $200 on a playset of Groves, I'm upset. If it's good, it precludes creature decks from being playable.
Yeah, Punishing Fire is a really problematic end game if it becomes good in a format.
I kind of think, and this might be me being totally crazy about the rate and like what the format's about, but Ponder kind of seems like the most inline card to unban, although I do think it is too strong by a little bit.
We did get Preordain.
Right, and Preordain's mostly been fine. The question is, once you have Preordain and Ponder, are A+B combo decks, are things like that too good? Personally, I would take nothing off the modern ban list right now. I think we got all the cards that were sort of in range off recently. Like, there's no Splinter Twins left, right?
Why was Field of the Dead banned again? Why was Field of the Dead banned?
It created control in games that were like super inevitability. It was part of like the Uro Mystic Sanctuary era of stuff. Field of the Dead would be a huge problem in Amulet Titan.
I agree with that. I'm not arguing that. I can understand, like, we used to play Mutavault and Celestial Colony, and now this is like meaningfully not okay because it's less interactable. Like, I get all of that. I just literally did not remember when that card got banned.
I'm gonna throw one out there. For takes. I have a couple that I think are worth talking about. Again, this is the same to Liz's point, but Bridge from Below was banned for Hogak's sins, but you basically gain nothing from putting it back in the format.
Yep.
Arkham's Astrolabe. I don't know if playing Winged or Icefang Coatl is a good strategy in 2026. That one had a lot of like... It has all the design problems with it still exist. Power level wise, it probably wouldn't be whatever. It'd probably be fine.
I think Arkham's Astrolabe is like top half of strong cards in the list.
What about Dark Depths?
I was getting to that one.
Attack feels kind of...
I was getting to that one because that's where I want to... Yeah, like Astrolabe just doesn't really... Like, it doesn't enable... Nothing good comes from Astrolabe, basically.
Right.
Even if like the way those decks looked before would be fine now. Nothing good will come of that. Dark Depths could theoretically, especially if they prefaced it with this is a healthy part of the legacy metagame. We think Modern is come a long way in 15 years. We want to see if players can develop this archetype in a healthy way for the format.
So, what do you think the Dark Depths decks in Modern would look like? You think they'd be like
I have no idea.
Because I think I just put one Dark Depths and one Thespian Stage in my Amulet Titan deck, and all of a sudden there's a whole 20 other things you have to play around.
It's an Amulet Titan problem.
I'm just... That is a core problem of it to me for now. Beyond that, though, if we were in a world in which Amulet Titan did not exist, I could be for Dark Depths. I think it warps the way interactive decks have to... Like, interactive decks have to play white now.
Yeah,
But-
so they just printed, I guess I should double check this. Erode, does that destroy or exile? It destroys. So that actually would, even if we assume erode, the new destroy target creature.
Yeah, the new
planeswalker
path
spell
is a destroy.
is
spell.
not a
Does
path,
not
so it
hit
actually
them.
would not hit this card or a
Your
dark depths
Jund
token.
decks, your Jund decks would have to play like Shieldred's Edict now.
That's not.
I think Shield's
that's
is
fine.
non-token, isn't
Yeah.
it?
No, it's
Or
choose token or non-token.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
okay.
Tailor. It's actually really good. I don't know. I think
mean,
that's
Children
one that would
Edict's
be
a great
very interesting. Like, you're right about
By the
Aeon Titan, but
definition
that's true of everything.
Of what you
in
said
Aeon
earlier, of like I bought 4 Mox Opals, I have a Mox Opal Enjoyer. We definitely have 4 Dark
Yes.
Depths Enjoyers that we
Yes.
would love to have in the format. Yeah.
I think
I
it would be
worry
really
that
cool if
the-
it was healthy.
I worry that it is too strong, but I think it's not so far. Like, if they unbanned Dark Depths, I wouldn't be that surprised, but I also wouldn't be that surprised if it went poorly, right?
Because there's good
Yeah.
unsummons now too. Like you can, there's
Yes.
like value unsummon ETBs
Brazen
and
Borrower.
cast spells. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Into the Flood Maw is pretty heavily played. Like,
Yeah.
I will say that I made the same arguments, or the same point, because it's not like I made the same point about Stoneforge Mystic when they unbanned that. I said, well, if this is too good, it's just going to invalidate everyone who wants to play a creature deck. But the format had just power crept so much that Batterskull just didn't matter. It just didn't matter that they could lock down Merfolk or any other 2016 creature deck with Batterskull, because that's not what happened in 2023 or whatever year.
One of the defining things about Stoneforge to me is that it is a proactive card at its core, though.
Yeah. I was just, my take was that if it's good, because the reason that stuff was a problem in the first place is because Stoneforge Batterskull just locked out a whole swath of decks, and then that was not true by the time they unbanned it. And I think that you could apply that to Dark Depths, definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
There's moving on down the list here. What about Once Upon a Time?
Does that make games better by unbanning it? is
No,
the question.
it does. I
No.
don't think so.
No.
I also
don't
think that
think
card
so.
is too strong.
Okay. Well, I was
That
asking
card
more
is-
about that. Yeah.
I think it's stronger than
Ponder's-
Ponder.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if Ponder's in the conversation, we cannot talk about Once Upon a Time.
Well, if Ponder was, Ponder was on the line of unban, right? So it is certainly the
Right.
the
But Ponder
range
comes
here,
off
but
before Once Upon a Time, right? Like,
I think so.
I don't know enough. Once Upon a Time was
Like-
legal for so little time and in such a weird period of Magic. I don't actually know how good that card is. I don't know
I've played
how
it
to
a lot
think
in
about that
Legacy.
card in 2026. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I played it a lot in Legacy, and the biggest thing it does is, so when you're building tournament decks, right?
Uh-huh.
When I was building the Cradle deck, for example, one of the key things I needed to remember was that I needed about 14 to 16 initial mana sources, untapped green sources on turn 1, right? Once Upon a Time's let me cheat on that, and it just warps deck building in this subtle way where it lets you get away with playing too few lands and a slightly more variety of threads. And I actually just think the card you want to do that in green decks is Green Sun Zenith. Like, that Green Sun Zenith is way more fun. It costs mana, it scales with the thing you're trying to do, it gives you immense versatility, and it doesn't let you cheat on lands, which I think is actually really important.
fair.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. The last one I think is worth mentioning, unless we talk about the artifact lands as a whole. But again, nothing good comes of that in all likelihood.
Mox Opal's the one we want, not those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Up the Beanstalk? I don't remember how that was broken the first time around in Modern. What was it? What was the broken Up the Beanstalk deck?
Let me spin you a yarn, Corbin.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Northern Virginia RCQ scene when Up the Beanstalk dropped.
Okay.
It was a bunch of people, myself, Jarvis Yu, Josh Ting, a bunch of people who are pretty strong Magic players in various formats and various ways. At every RCQ, we would all bring 4-color pitch spell Up the Beanstalk decks, and over the weeks, over the months, things degraded. By the end of the format, I was playing a mirror match against Jarvis where we both had 1 copy of Time Warp, 1 copy of Endurance, and 2 copies of Lightning Bolt in our deck to take infinite turns.
Because Up the
plan-
Beanstalk was just allowed you to just garner so much advantage.
Right.
With
You would
those
draw your
lists.
entire deck, and you
Yeah.
would get in a situation where you prismatic ending your 3rd copy of Up the Beanstalk so you don't die to decking.
Oh God.
And then you Time Warp, you Endurance, trigger on the stack, targeting yourself, double bolt it, shuffle that stuff back in, and then just do it again every turn.
Okay. Oh,
Up
there
the
you go. Yeah,
Beanstalk
I-
is gotta be one of the most broken control and mid-range
Yes.
enablers in Magic's history, and if they unban up the Beanstalk, I will play it in every single event until they get rid of it again.
That's a great
love Up the
example.
Beanstalk.
It's such a great example of a card that on its face, when you can see someone putting it into a design file thinking like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, it's a neat tool. But the fact that it then just was so quickly broken in standard with the Overlords playing perfectly into it was just insane, right?
Like, this is my Legacy Up the Beanstalk deck. It's the only deck I've really played for the last 2 years. And I think it's like, this card will get banned in Legacy someday.
Yeah, it might. It really
part
might.
of the design space is let's make things that technically cost 5 that you can play us
Correct.
for. Right?
Correct.
They literally made a mechanic in Strixhaven. There was a card in Strixhaven that I was really excited about, and then I read it and I realized they fixed Up the Beanstalk. It's like a blue and a colorless for a 1/3 or something. Whenever you play an instant or sorcery spell, if you spent 5 or more mana on it, you draw a card.
Yep.
Oh,
So close.
That's funny. Oh, man. Okay, I think that probably covers it unless we talk about...
Does Phyrexian mana count? No, it doesn't, right? Because you're paying life instead of mana?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say the next thing is to start talking about individual cards that affect specific decks. Like, for instance, like that's where your Mycosynth Lattices and your Bridge from Below's and your Grave Trolls and Glimpse of Natures start to come into play.
Grave Troll might be the most... the least unbannable card on the list, because if they unban it for a second time and have to ban it again,
That would be so funny.
like, I think we're closer to seeing what's the most broken card on the ban list. We're closer to seeing Skullclamp legal than we are Grave Troll for like corporate identity reasons.
What about Mystic Sanctuary?
Bad gameplay patterns.
It is bad gameplay patterns, true. Terrible gameplay
If
patterns.
they unban Mystic Sanctuary, I will register Counterspell in every single modern deck I play until they take it away from me.
Yeah, Mystic Sanctuary would probably go hard in all those stupid Blink decks, too.
Like, if I had total control of the modern ban list, I would unban Up the Beanstalk, Mystic Sanctuary, Burrow, Ponder. I just want to play, like, blue mid-range control
Corbin,
slots.
this is your brawl deck. You're on board with this.
Violent Outburst. Yeah. Violent Outburst would be sweet. Okay. I think we've killed...
Arkham's Astrolabe is the strongest cantrip on this list, by the way.
Better than Ponder?
Yes, by like a mile. Better than Once Upon a Time by like a mile.
Because you can... it's just...
I remember it very quickly.
Threes. It's secretly Ancestral Recall.
It very quickly
Modern,
took over the
like,
format.
In Modern, it gains you like 2 to 4 life because you're fetching basics instead of shocklands. It cantrips. It combos with like Goblin Engineer and like artifact synergies.
Yeah.
It's a 1 mana colorless cantrip effectively. Card's fucked.
Yeah. It's like the decks it enabled are the kind of decks maybe you want to exist, but the card itself is way too fucked.
Right.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's probably enough Modern. We're going to talk more, but we're kind of working our way through some Magic formats in this episode, and that was a chat we haven't done in a long time. And with Modern being the current RCQ season, that is where a lot of people's attention is at right now. And where your attention should be is to these breaking bulks, because they will make you money.
Breaking bulk time.
Breaking bulk.
JJ
Breaking
plays
bulk
the song.
time. Breaking bulk song time. Breaking time song bulk.
Good one, DJ.
Is that an Adventure Time reference?
Regular old Jason
I've never
over
seen
here.
that show.
Breaking bulk cards, breaking bulk cards, breaking bulk. In the show he says, making pancakes, making bacon pancakes.
Oh, yes. I have seen that gif before.
I got nothing.
I think you would
all
love
right.
Adventure Time, DJ.
What are
I
you all
got an
looking at?
Innistrad Midnight Hunt Gold Uncommon. Sorry, Corbin.
Anyone seen that set ever? The one that makes
Midnight
it
Hunt Gold
is it
Uncommon.
is it a
Faithless
red ring
Mending?
card?
What's that?
Faithless Mending is what DJ said.
I'm gonna give it to you. It's Faithful Mending.
Faithful.
Yes,
Mending.
okay.
Nice
The
guess.
blue-white Faithless Looting card has a buy list price of $1.05 on CK.
For the regular
Kind of trending
one?
upwards. For the regular old Innistrad Midnight Hunt copy, they will pay you $1.05.
That's pretty
Or
sick.
1 nickel, because pennies don't exist.
True.
Card is just a good graveyard enabler. It's he's playing modern Goryo's Vengeance decks. I think that's a big part of it.
Yes, that is where it all comes from, I would imagine.
Card's
I've
cool.
seen that card a lot. Nice card.
Notably
Nice pick,
also,
too.
the foil versions of the Innistrad Double Feature copies are like $25-$30.
Oh yeah, any double feature foil is just crazy rare,
Yeah.
and they don't even look good.
Oh, sorry, did I say $25-$30? I meant like $40 to $70 now. There's one $26 listing, which with 3 available, which probably should just get bought, but that's not my job.
All
I
right.
have a retro
ahead, DJ.
pick from World Wake. It is a red common.
Teetering Peaks?
The
it's
Wisp.
No, but good guess.
Red Wisps.
No, that's from Shadowmoor. This is
Yeah,
from
you're
World
right.
Wake.
You're right.
Is this the
Crimson
Zendikar?
Wisps is
Is that the set
Shadowmoor.
those are from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What said you said World
I said
Wake?
World Wake.
I'm gonna start thinking about different cards then.
Is it an ally?
No.
Yes. No. That would be a good guess.
Akun Battle Slinger would have been a good guess.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that.
I love World Wake. What a cool set.
Is
Red
it the? I might be crazy here. No, it's unquenchable. Whatever's unquenchable fires.
It's
uncommon.
Conflux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was gonna get guessed immediately.
Oh,
I'm.
then we're being
It's not
dumb.
Goblin Bushwhacker. That's Zendikar, right?
Goblin Bushwhacker is Zendikar. This, I would argue, was the red common in the set for close to a decade.
We're just.
Oh,
being
Searing
crazy.
Blaze.
It is Searing Blaze.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I forgot that
for
was a
those-
common. God.
Yeah, for those Zoomers out there, this is a red instant. It deals 1 to target creature and 1 to target player that are in the same battlefield area. That's how that's worded. And then it has landfall. Change that number to 3 instead. So back in the day, this is lightning bolt them and kill a creature. It was very, very good on rate. It has since been power crept in a lot of ways, but it is still worth picking out of bulk because casual players still want to fill a sock full of Duracells and swing it around.
Yeah, this is actually climbed in the past 6 months or so. Is it past year as well? Doubled in price.
Couldn't tell you why.
Well, Patrick
Cards is
Sullivan's tweeting about Burn again.
Patrick
Card also
Sullivan
has,
is like. He's tweeting like a guy on ayahuasca who just discovered Keldon Marauders for the
I
first
know
time.
it's so funny,
And it's like,
but I
it's
love
beautiful.
it.
It's
Watching
gorgeous.
Look, he tweeted Arena of Glory next to Keldon Marauders, and my eyes got wide. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that shit's cool.
It's like he's falling in love for the first time again. It's beautiful to watch it happen.
Yeah. All right. I've got a similar card that has fluctuated between being a pick and not over the years, but is currently spiking like crazy. It's an Alara Reborn card. It's a gold common.
Every card in that set is gold.
I know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Does it have cycling?
And DJ's wrong. Some cards in the set are colorless.
That is true. Does it have cycling?
It does not.
Is it the fertile grounds of the set, like Trace of Abundance or whatever?
It is.
The Naya
It is
one?
Trace of Abundance.
Yes!
It's $4. Did you all know that?
I did not.
$4
was
market
like
price. Yeah, I think that's 2 is probably the more realistic price. But if you scan the card, like into an app, the market price on it right now is $4, and it has spiked a ton over the past 3 to 4 months. So pull them out. Whether it's $2 or $4, it's not bulk. That's for sure.
Why is this not bulk now? Besides the fact that it's just a almost 20-year-old card with few reprints, is there a recent commander or something that tickles its fancy?
I'm going to be honest. I'm also seeing the card at like $2 max.
Go Shintai, Aragorn, and Infinite Guideline Station are its top commanders on EDH. right?
Maria Vandrell's kind of a stretch, but
Yep, the card was a 63-cent market price 6 months ago, and today it's a $4 market price. So
That's crazy.
something is making it climb, whatever that might be.
Does it have
It's-
a direct premium?
that would make sense. The card's very old.
Yeah, I'm checking. The card's not even on direct. Unless, no, maybe it is. Oh, wow, yeah, the direct premium is like close to $4 or $5 even. This
Yep.
feels like it's data, like a data issue causing the price spike, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, foils of the card are like live listings of the foils are between $4 and $5, which would make you think it's more of a $2 card. But either way, I will say that like this used to always kind of be a pick, but then over the last couple years, it had fallen off buy lists in some ways. I had started passing over it. I'm pretty sure I've actually skipped over one of these in the past few weeks. But I was looking at Alara Reborn recently, caught my attention. So pull out your Trace of Abundances.
If I didn't get that on the first guess, would have gone downhill very quickly. Not a lot of other Alara Reborn cards that are coming to me in a fever dream.
Well, I'll tell you, there's another one. What is the most expensive uncommon Alara Reborn, do you think?
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look at the set and try and determine it. Is it a Ardent Plea?
No.
That's a good guess. Is that Shards?
That's Alara Reborn. I'm looking at the Alara Reborn file right now.
The most expensive Alara Reborn uncommon is $5. Or card that is non-rare is $5.
Wall of Denial?
No.
I'm just going with the set.
Anathemancer is super old. That can't be it.
Anathemancer is $1 though, so that's still a pick.
Behemoth Sledge? There's no way, right?
Nope. Although I will tell you, Mage Slayer is worth several dollars. It's the third most expensive card.
Morbid Bloom. No, that card sucks.
Mind Funeral, sadly, is only $1. I think.
Oh yeah, there's so many mill options now. All the the Boomer mill cards are in the bin.
Used to be a $4 or $5 uncommon. Did it?
It's not Thopter Foundry, is it?
Nope. This was unguessable to me as well, and yet it's a $10+ foil.
What is it?
You ready for it, DJ?
Yep.
Glory Scale Viashino?
Flurry of Wings.
Oh, the bird card, because chocobos.
That's funny.
Yup. Like I said, this set shocked me when I was looking at it. But yes, Flurry of Wings spiked with Final Fantasy. It is now $5+. So, breaking bulk, everybody. This is a fun week. We got a lot of good stuff there. Speaking of good stuff, you know where we find all of this stuff, whether it's good, whether it's bad, or whether you should buy it, whether you should sell it. It's MTG Ban. That is the number one tool for anybody who's really interested in the serious side of Magic Finance. All these cards we're talking about, we can look it up and pull all of these numbers, whether it's buy list numbers, whether it's TCG numbers, whether it's how much movement on the card there's been. MTG Ban is the place to go to check it out. All of us use it pretty regularly, and you can use the code 50BSB to get a discount on your first month. So go ahead and check out MTG Ban. We appreciate them sponsoring this podcast.
One of the more casual use cases I have found for this platform that somebody reached out to me and said that they were using it for is somebody who doesn't delve super hard into Magic Finance. They're not like crazy constantly checking, buying and selling all the time, or like flipping collections. They just like kind of like to keep their finger on the pulse of what they buy and make things that they do buy affordable. They said it's the best way for them to find just things that they want to buy as a player and just get the best prices for, because sometimes they want to buy a collector box and they're like, oh, should I buy it off of TCG Player or Star City or Mana Pool or whatever? And MTG Ban just pulls all of that into one little column within 2 seconds, instead of going to TCG Player, typing Strixhaven collector booster box, enter, scrolling past the packs and the collector display and like collector cases, whatever, like all that stuff. You just type in the one thing you're looking for, and then you can just, oh, Card Trader is $500. I'll buy it there. Or Mana Pool is $660. I won't buy it there. Just stuff like that. And then it also gives you the buy list data and the EV of the product. So maybe if you are considering a collector booster purchase and then you see, oh, the EV is terrible, never mind, I will wait. Not that everyone buys packs specifically but because of the EV, but there's certainly some real bad ones out there that you might want to avoid if you're just trying to pick any collector box. Pick one that is not just going to have nothing in it, right? Like, you want something that has at least a chance to get a cool thing.
All right, we're ready to go talk about Strixhaven for a few minutes, and then we will do a pick of the week.
There's a card called the Homesickness. This set sucks.
DJ does not like Secrets of Strixhaven, it sounds like, which the pre-release is in 1 week by the time you listen to this show, I believe. We are going back to the land of the Lorehold, the Quandrix, the Silver Quill. Oh, I failed on the other one. What's the other one? The other two?
Lorehold.
No, none of us. Prismari, yep, that's blue-red, and then black-green's Witherbloom. So there you go. Those are the 5 schools. We're going back to learn more about Strixhaven. and we're not going to get into necessarily all the cards this week, but there's probably a few we want to talk about that you might have seen. And I want to talk about the not unexpected, but now gaining steam, basic land type creep. JJ can put this up on the screen. I'm talking about in this set, it appears that we now have 2 more cycles, including the commander set, 2 more cycles of fetchable land with basic land type. So, the thing that made the shock land so unique in original Magic, design when they came out was that, like the original OG duels, they could be fetched up by a fetch land. Now, over time, we've seen that explored to more things. We got surveil lands, etc. Now, in this set, we're seeing in the commander set, we have a turbulence cycle where this land enters tapped unless your opponents control 8 or more lands. And then another cycle evidenced by Umbral Expanse, where it's just it has cycling and the land enters tapped and provides both of those colors. So just a fetchable cycling duel.
The other
where
half
are we at
of the
on
Amonkhet lands.
Yes. So where are we at on the fact that now we've hit just the fact that we have so many more of these in Magic, and what do we think about these specifically?
I don't think that they're that strong.
Yeah, I think this isn't really a problem. It means that people who put fetch lands in their commander decks now get more out of it.
Yeah, well, that's to say, I call it creep, like kind of jokingly, but the fact is, like, the thing that made the shock lands so special are no longer that. So just like it's almost just like a thing that, in some ways, we as boomer Magic players have to recontextualize in our brains. That being able to fetch for a shock land is not like, obviously that's still one of the better ones, etc. A lot of these come into play tapped, but it's not as unique as sort of we learned Magic as it was when we learned Magic.
The unique thing about Shocklands is the optionality, right? The fact that they are 20% stronger than the next best option, that's what makes them special. The only thing that makes duels special at this point is that they're 30% better than Shocklands, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would argue the fetchability of the power of the fetchability of lands dropped off significantly when Triomes entered the arena.
Agreed.
Right?
Very much. Good point.
The power was, I can play 4 colors, but diversify my land base so that I can always use a Misty to get a Hallowed Fountain or whatever. And once you have Rogren Triome just coming in with guns blazing, you have your keyword soup option if it is.
Yeah, Triomes were the real leap. Yeah, Triomes were the real leap forward in that.
Right.
But I guess it's sort of it feels. And maybe we're wrong. These are rare. Maybe I'm wrong about this. They're rare cycles, but I guess it feels maybe more like this might be the template for just a bunch of these lands moving forward. Like, will we enter a world where the common red-green surveil lands for limited are templated with both land types?
I mean, I believe we had that for Dominaria United. I believe there was coming to play tap duels with land types, and there was the snow duels had land types also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've had fetchable common guild gates.
Well, I've played multiple of the snow guild gates in Modern before.
Yeah, so in this current set, for instance, they're not both land types, right? They're only that for Commander, which is, like I said, I just think it's because so they're still using it as sort of a tool, as a design tool, and I just think it's interesting where we're sort of at with that, I guess is what I'm getting at there. But what stands out to the set from y'all?
There are a couple of really cool Eternal designs in the set I've noticed so far. Pulling up the actual thing I was looking at here. The card called Petrified Hamlet, for those not in the know.
Yeah, that one's fun.
It's a land. When it comes into play, you choose a land card name. Lands with that name have no activated abilities. And they gain the activated ability of tap, add a colorless. So it turns all of your opponent's wastelands into wastes, or it turns their Karakas into a waste, or it turns their whatever land is ailing you, and all it costs you is your land drop and a slot in your deck. And it taps for colorless itself, too.
Hey guys, we really tried to make Alpine Moon good.
Right. I don't know if this card's good. I don't think it's actually funny where I think it's better in the Dark Depths decks than against it. But I think that's cool. There's a card in the Secrets of Strixhaven Commander decks called Ominous Harvest, which is 2 and a black for a sorcery with Gravestorm. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. And for those who don't know what Gravestorm is, it's Storm, but instead of the number of spells you've played, it's the number of cards put in your graveyard this turn.
I think it's... is it permanence?
Oh, it's actually permanent, so treasure tokens count. That's true. That's amazing. Yeah, this card's maybe messed up in Eternal formats. Like, I will play my Lotus Petal and sacrifice it. I'll crack my fetch land. Rain of Filth goes really good with this.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that it's EDH Powerhouse, CDH Powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I have no idea.
Oh, and it's
that's
actually
true.
not just yours. So
For
it's not
each
just
permanent.
for permanents.
It's any,
Any
yeah.
So you could,
permanent.
like, you play a sweeper and then play this. That's good. You give this flash somehow. Like, in CDH, I can see the combo term being, like, everyone cracks all their treasures and their
Correct.
Lotus
It's
Petals and sacks a fetch land.
It would be an all. I don't know much about the format. I imagine it would be once you've gone infinite, some kind of alternative win con that makes people deck
Right.
by drawing instead of something else.
I do really like... so I hate it when they make cards that are named after sets, because that's just makes my life much harder. I like it when they name cards after mechanics. Flashback just doing its thing is very cool.
Okay.
1 red instant, target instant or sorcery gains flashback. What more? It's simple, it's elegant, it's like printing Murder, right? It's like when Murder gets printed in 2013 and you think, how did they not... Yeah, flashback. It's... We have the card Vigilance, and sometimes mechanics get named after those cards. It's very nice. I like it.
We are about to learn a lot about how much the 2/1 body attached to Snapcaster was worth.
Oh yeah, what was the Guilds of Ravnica one? That was blue.
Mission briefing.
Blue.
Yeah.
It's mission
Surveil 2,
briefing.
then Snapcaster, yeah.
It's in my Uro deck and Brawl.
1 mana is really meaningful. I actually think the most interesting part about this card relative to Snapcaster is that it's red.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been doing cool stuff.
Cards they've printed in Commander precons that are blue that I think should be red. There's what is it? It's like a fish that gives everything flash when it's not your turn.
Oh sure, yeah.
So during your turn, only you get to play the spells, but during it's like, hey, everyone else do whatever you want, whenever, just not during my turn. That's a very red card, but they printed it blue for some reason. Titled Barracuda, that's the card.
I really like, there's a red design in Lorwyn called Lava Leaper, I think. It's like a 4 mana, 4/4.
Oh, the Mana Flare guy. Yeah.
That card's cool.
Yeah. So we've got the pre-release in a week. So we're saying goodbye soon to Ninja Turtles. Any thoughts on where we're at on Ninja Turtles at the end of things? Just I thought the format was fun, the limited format. I did grow tired of it fairly quickly because of the small set. Those are my only takeaways.
My biggest takeaway from TMNT is that the further away we get from it, the more charming it can be to me. When Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not front and center in my Magic life, playing a skateboard in a game of Legacy would be really cool. I think the set will age fairly well. People will find charm in the few cards that persist, and for the most part, it will be forgettable, which I think is kind of the best case for Universes Beyond.
Yeah, what was there was a Fallout creature that was good in Legacy for 2 seconds, the big green idiot. Yeah, and same thing, right? Like if somebody plays some turtle guy or shredder, it's in Legacy, it's no different than a 14th century immigrant piloting a smuggler's copter, to quote one of our greats.
Right. It's really cool when my opponent plays a Warhammer card I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of those. And they're all worth $8.
Warhammer set is so good. Looking back, I'm so glad we dialed back Universes Beyond cards.
All right. Well, before we get out of here this week, as always, we want to leave you with some picks of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
And I'm going to hop in here first because I've got a hot one, and I think it's a good one. And it's combining all of my favorite things. It's the Shire from Lord of the Rings. It's a legendary land. There's battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Add a green to tap an untapped creature you control. Create a food token. It's a lot of work to make a food token. However, the card has gone from in the past 6 weeks from $2.50 to about $5. And it's just as you're listening to this podcast, we're recording this on April 7th. And if you go to a Patreon at patreon.com/BSB, you can get access to the episode early and hear this now because the line is really starting to climb up even more steeply in just the last day or two. So we're looking at kind of a last call here on the Shire at sub, $3 if you're able to find any in that range still. So pick it up. Maybe it gets reprinted with The Hobbit. Maybe they do a different version of the Shire and this just becomes $10 instead.
I do think if you ask me who lives in the Shire, I'd say probably The Hobbit. Cards gotta be good.
Yeah. All right. What are y'all looking at for picks of the week?
I have a very cute and good dog. I am choosing Philia. Modern staple, legacy staple. Card is like $5-ish last I checked, which I'm pulling it up into Unban right now.
Still around $5. Cool Stuff Inc. is paying $5.50 to get your copies, which is above market price.
Yep.
Star City is paying $4. If you're selling them on TCG Player listed at $5 or $6, you are losing money compared to just sending them elsewhere for sure.
This card only gets better with every single set, and they're going to print one Quantum Riddler a year, something of that level every year because ETB effects are just so important.
Yep.
Philia is messed up. I see this card having a long and storied future of being a problem.
Especially if and when they have to ban Ephemerate, right?
That's coming for sure.
It might, yeah.
Speaking of banned cards, like...
Ephemerate's a card... I have no idea how that card made it in the file for MH1, and I'm really shocked it took as long as it did to become a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Because, we've seen that effect become more and more of a problem, or maybe not a problem, but, looking at Splash Portal when it was getting played a fair amount, just that effect has become so powerful. As the creatures, I guess, have become so powerful with the ETBs.
Yeah, I have talked myself into my pick of the week this week. I had a different one coming in, and now my pick of the week is just Dark Depths. It's just Dark Depths. The card has been reprinted a lot in the past couple years. It was in a Modern Horizons 3 commander deck called Tricky Terrain that I bought a lot of, and so I just naturally own a lot of Dark Depths right now. And the card is like $1.50, $2. It's very, very, very cheap. Even, and this is the most important part of this pick, even if the card is secretly in a Wizards file named never unban ever you dumb idiot .txt, it doesn't matter. If the card enters the conversation cycle like Splinter Twin, it will ride the roller coaster of Splinter Twin, and it will go from 1 to 5 and then back down to 1 after the announcement, and then 1 to 5 and then back down to 1 after the announcement, and then if they don't print it for a while, it'll be 5 to 10 and then down after just look at Splinter Twin's graph. I think Dark Depths could be the new Splinter Twin, and I am a big fan of cards that you can buy a lot of in bricks. And this card being from a Commander Precon at the $2 to $3 mark, I think is a very, very fine place to just spend a couple $100, put them in a drawer, and then just wait. And if it gets reprinted, you double down. Just for fun. I love everything you said there. The logic's great. For those, and I unfortunately might have been one of these people, who had a Ultimate Masters box topper Dark Depths back when this was a huge chase card. That was $150 or $120, it looks like, back in 2019. That card has been on a pretty steady down incline, whatever you want to say, and it's now $25. So there's a lot of room to grow for Dark Depths. How about that?
One of the problems with Dark Depths reprints is they all just look worse than the foil Cold Snap version. If you're going to get a nice Dark Depths, the foil Cold Snap one is so nice, which is why it's over $100 still.
The Avatar one is kind of ugly.
I actually think
the Cold Snap or the Cold Snap token, the pre-release token for Merit Lage.
Well, one of the things I love about Merit Lage, it's the same thing I love about Orcish Bowmasters. It's a card where you only ever need one token, so you can use whatever you want in your collection for it, as long as it's not a magic card. Dark Depths is the perfect, I have a really cool Mew Pokemon card, or, I don't know, who's the most Dark Depths character in Riftbound, DJ?
Probably Baron, like Baron Nashor.
You put the ultimate rare Baron Nashor into play off your Dark Depths, and your opponent's like, wow, that's kind of cool. What's that? I used to use the, I have it somewhere. It's the Duel Masters Holiday promotion card.
Yeah, I got one of those. Those are cool.
This was what I used for my Merit Lage for like a full 6 months. It's great.
Love that. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us this week. So, of course, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, MTG Ban, and to all of you who go to patreon.com/BSB. You make this show possible. And this was a fun episode, I think. We talked a lot about Modern, which I have not done in a minute. I have a lot of Modern decks that are out of date, and I would love for something to like really bring me back into that format. So I enjoyed the Banless chat here. So on that note, I think that wraps it up for us. We'll see you next week, everybody. This is Brainstorm Brewery.
Bye.